I caught your breath before your voice. You didn't speak, but I had no choice to feel the weight inside your eyes. You never said, but I heard the cries. You sat so still, but your soul shook loud like thunder hit in a coffee cloud. The silence sang what you couldn't say, and I kept listening anyway. Heard without a word I knew. Every pause, every shift, it was you. In the quiet you were loud to me. Your heart spoke in a minor key. Heard without a word, and yet I heard you clearer than regret. No need to talk, I felt the sound of all the things you never let out. The way you stirred your drink that night felt like you wished the world was light, but shadows held your voice too tight. So I leaned in and held it right. Your fingers told me where you've been, stories trapped beneath the skin, but silence gave your song away. So I let the rhythm play. Heard without a word I knew. Every pause, every shift, it was you. In the quiet you were loud to me. Your heart spoke in a minor key. Heard without a word, and yet I heard you clearer than regret. No need to talk, I felt the sound of all the things you never let out. Some songs are born in silence, some hearts just speak in beats. You never called me closer, but I was there in every heat. Heard without a word I stayed, in every note your silence played. Even in what you didn't choose, I heard the part of you you'd lose. Heard without a word, and still the music moved against your will. You changed and never said a thing, but your silence told me everything. So I used to hide behind my smile, talk too much just to pass the time. But you never asked me why. You just stayed while the world went by. No questions, no echo, no chase, just quiet wrapped around this place. And somehow in that gentle space, you saw me clearer than my face. When silence knew me more than words ever could do, it held the parts I lost in view. Didn't pull, didn't dim in, just stayed like waves upon the sand. And every beat so patiently was all I needed to be free. You saw my soul invisibly. That's when silence knew me. You never said what you were feeling, but I could hear it in the space between the chords that kept on healing. Something fragile out of place. You played your soul with hesitation. Each rest became a revelation. And though no lyrics made it through, I knew each silence spoke of you. I leaned in where no one goes, right there between the highs and lows. And in the stillness I could trace a voice that never showed its face. Stillness between the notes told me more than words ever wrote. It held your pain like open hands, the parts no one understands. You didn't need a sound to speak. Your quiet made the moment deep. Stillness where your truth floats between the notes. You let the rhythm do the talking, left unsaid what hurt the most. But every beat that kept on walking carried ghosts you couldn't post. The melody was soft and steady, but every pause said I'm not ready. And I just listened, never pressed, let the quiet do the rest. You didn't flinch, you didn't hide, but there was thunder held inside. And I could feel it in the space where music stopped and left you grace. Stillness between the notes told me more than words ever wrote. It held your pain like open hands, the parts no one understands. You didn't need a sound to speak. Your quiet made the moment deep. Stillness where your truth floats between the notes. Some truths live where echoes fade, where songs breathe out and softly wait. And then I found you in that air where no one thought you'd leave a trace. Stillness between the notes was how your soul gently spoke. No melody could quite contain the way you played around the pain. And though the room was still and bare, I heard your story hanging there. Stillness in the way you wrote between the notes. Steam curls from the cup I hold, but your song is what breaks the code. Window light across the floor, but your melody, it warms me more. A sip then a sigh, then you, floating in like morning dew. Didn't ask to be so near, but your voice is all I hear. Coffee warm, but you warmer still. Poured your soul without a spill. Didn't know what I was missing till your silence turned to rhythm. Heartbeat slowed, I leaned in closer. In your tune I found composure. It wasn't just the drink I needed, it was you and how you heated. I don't know your face or name, but your harmony feels the same as the calm between the crowds. You don't shout, you stand out loud. You brewed the notes so tenderly, like you stirred them just for me. Cup in hand and soul at rest, your sound filled the emptiness. Coffee warm, but you warmer still. Poured your soul without a spill. Didn't know what I was missing till your silence turned to rhythm. Heartbeat slowed, I leaned in closer. In your tune I found composure. It wasn't just the drink I needed, it was you and how you heated. You don't even know you gave a kind of peace I couldn't crave. But now I play your song again, and it holds me like a friend. Coffee warm, but you warmer still. Your quiet voice, the sweetest thrill. Didn't know what I was feeling till your chords began the healing. I sip slow but feel much faster. With you there the world feels faster. It wasn't just the drink I needed, it was you. Heartwarmer, unneeded speaker, secret healer, soul believer. He played that song like background air. Didn't know why it lingered there. A line, a chord, it touched too deep. Woke something soft he meant to keep. He let it spin, just let it play. Not knowing why it made his day. A voice so near yet felt so far, like hearing home in someone's guitar. Before he knew it was her, the song already knew him first. It wrapped around his quiet pain, like letters falling with the rain. He didn't see what she had sown inside a tune he thought unknown. Before he knew it was her, she'd been whispering in every verse. She didn't sign it with a name, but every note still burned the same. A like letters falling with the rain. He didn't see what she had sown inside a tune he thought unknown before he knew it was her. She'd been whispering in every verse. Some things are heard before they're seen. Some hearts arrive inside a dream. She gave him light he didn't seek, in melodies too shy to speak. Before he knew it was her, his soul had memorized the words. He didn't need to read her name. The music lit a softer flame. She didn't need to show her face. Her song already found its place. Beats before he knew it was her. She'd already changed his world. He walked through mornings unaware of notes she left in thinning air. A whisper tucked in every breeze. He breathed it in like memories. Didn't know the sound was hers, wrapped in wind and drifting words. But every breath he ever drew pulled her closer out of view. He was breathing in her echo. Didn't see, but he would know. The softness in his steady pace came from her unspoken grace. She was gone but stayed inside the hush between his every stride. He was breathing in her echo long before she let it show. He never traced the way it grew, that warmth that bloomed from nothing new. But every rhythm in his day was moved by notes she didn't play. She hummed beneath the city hum, in quiet chords she'd softly come. He didn't hear her name, but still the silence bent to her goodwill. He was breathing in your echo. Didn't see, but he would know. The softness in his steady pace came from her unspoken grace. She was gone but stayed inside the hush between his every stride. He was breathing in her echo long before she let it show. Some hearts don't shout, they resonate inside the breath we take too late. She didn't need to speak or stay. Her echo shaped him anyway. He was breathing in her echo. Every pause a quiet glow. She never knocked but found a key in every thought. just shadows dancing through the flame. It wasn't meant to ever reach the heart of someone out of reach. But there you were, headphones tight, eyes fixed forward, so not quite. You didn't know what moved your frame, but I did, as I watched you change. The song watched him change, note by note, so slow, so strange. He never guessed the lines were mine, but still they echoed through his mind. He didn't feel the hand that drew, the melody that pulled him through. But I was there, behind the range, and the song watched him change. By the week, started listening more than speak. You held the sky with gentler hands and saw the world through different plans. You didn't need a clue or name. The music played, you weren't the same. I stayed behind the speaker's veil, but knew each verse had set the sail. The song watched him change, note by note, so slow, so strange. Never guessed the lines were mine, but still they echoed through his mind. He didn't feel the hand that drew, the melody that pulled him through. But I was there, behind the range, and the song watched him change. Some songs don't shout, they stay unseen. They move like time, like air between what's said and what we really mean. And I watched you bloom from in between. The song watched him change, without a word, without exchange. You never saw me in the sound, but still your soul turned all around. Now every chord you choose to play still carries something I once prayed. You never knew to change. The sun slid in without a sound. Coffee brewed, the world spun round. He sat in stillness, unaware that something soft had settled there. No name, no face, no spoken word, but in his chest her tune was stirred. She'd never knocked, but she was near, like morning mist that whispered clear. He woke up thinking of her, didn't know where the thought occurred. Like a song that played in sleep, that stayed and started running deep. He didn't know what changed inside, only knew the weight was light. He woke up thinking of her, without a reason or a word. The air was warm but not too sweet, like memories he couldn't keep. The without a reason or a word. Not every thought comes loud or clear. Some just hum when hearts draw near. She didn't need to show her face to leave a warmth in that small space. He woke up thinking of her, and nothing else could quite confer. A peace he couldn't understand, as if she touched him with no hand. He smiled and didn't chase the why, just watched the clouds roll through the sky. He woke up thinking of her, and somehow that felt enough. He played the track on quiet nights, didn't know why it felt so right. The chords were soft, the air was still, but something more began to fill. She wasn't there, no sight, no name, but every note still burned the same, like shadows dancing on his skin. A voice without, but loud within. She stayed through the melody, though he never saw her physically. Each rise and fall, each tender beat carried her soft and bittersweet. No words, no sign, no certainty, but she was in the harmony. He didn't know the who or why, but she was there. She never said goodbye. He felt her breath in minor chords, in silences he once ignored. She lived in spaces songs reveal, where feelings sing what words conceal. She didn't need a face to show. He felt her in the undertow of every verse, of every line. She stayed without a single sign. She stayed through the melody, though he never saw her physically. Each rise and fall, each tender beat carried her soft and bittersweet. No words, no sign, no certainty, but she was in the harmony. He didn't know the who or why, but she was there. She never said goodbye. Some stay not with steps or sound, but with the way a soul surrounds. He didn't ask, he didn't see, but every chord said she is me. She stayed through the melody, like wind beneath the memory. He moved, he breathed, he felt her near. A love unsaid, but always here. No louder proof, no clearer call than music that outlives it all. She stayed through the melody, and somehow that was everything. No thunder, just a subtle warmth. No spotlight, no grand display. Just lingered softly in the day. He didn't turn to look or ask, but something real slipped through the cracks. In every beat a trace remained, just light enough to leave a stain. Just enough to feel her like breeze against his shoulder. She never raised the volume high, but whispered low and changed the sky. He couldn't name the reason why, but he exhaled a lighter sigh. She wasn't loud, but she was near, just enough to keep her here. She didn't speak but stayed inside, the pauses that he used to hide, and every hum and every sway. She filled the spaces he delayed. Her song didn't beg for attention, just breathed in quiet, true intention. And though he didn't understand, he held the moment in his hand. Just enough to feel her like breeze against his shoulder. She never raised the volume high, but whispered low and changed the sky. He couldn't name the reason why, but he exhaled a lifeless sigh. She wasn't loud, but she was near, just enough to keep her here. Some hearts don't speak in thunder tones, they echo through your skin and bones. She stayed behind the melody, but made him feel so vividly. Just enough to feel her in silence growing bolder. The quiet made the meaning clear. She didn't need to reappear. He never knew she left a flame until he never felt the same. She wasn't loud, but she was near, just enough to keep her here. He walked the streets like nothing changed. Same coat, same shoes, the sky the same, but something lingered in his pace, like echoes wrapped around his space. His smile still wore the practiced line, but shadows moved just out of time. They bent before his conscious mind, as if they knew what he would find. The shadows knew before he did that something soft inside had slid. A quiet shift, a tone, a thread, unspoken words he hadn't said. The light hit different on his skin, a warmth he didn't notice in. She wasn't seen, but still she hid where shadows knew before he did. She never stepped into his light, but left a trail behind the night. In every rest between the beat, she made the silence feel complete. He didn't know he missed her name, but every breath still spelled the same. The mirrors tilted just a bit, enough for shadows to admit. The shadows knew before he did that something soft inside had slid. A quiet shift, a tone, a threat, unspoken words he hadn't said. The light hit different on his skin, a warmth he didn't notice in. She wasn't seen, but still she hid where shadows knew before he did. Some truths don't knock, they sink in slow. They find the parts we never show. And even when we're standing still, the shadow moves against our will. The shadows knew before he did that love had settled where she slid. In melodies he didn't name, but felt inside like gentle flame. She changed the way the silence bent, the way reflections came and went. He never guessed, but there it hid, the song she left before he did. The rain began without a cue, just like the way he thought of you. No thunder, just a steady fall, like whispers brushing every wall. He stood there, frozen in the sound of raindrops dancing on the ground. And somehow in that silver noise, he heard the shape of her soft voice. Rain fell like her voice that day, soft but clear, then washed away. He did No message sent, no words out loud, yet every song still wore her shroud. He pressed play on another track, not knowing she was echoing back. A rhythm carved from all she hid. Her silence said what silence did. Her voice without sound still lingered all around, in melodies that pulled him close. In every chord he felt her ghost. She didn't sing, but still she stayed. A harmony he can't evade. Her voice without a sound so clear was all he needed just to hear. She didn't speak, but still she knew how notes could shape a point of view. She danced behind the woven beat and left her warmth on every seat. He didn't know where it began, but felt her in the way it ran. Each song a page she never wrote, yet somehow still within each note. Her voice without sound still lingered all around, in melodies that pulled him close. In every chord he felt her ghost. She didn't sing, but still she stayed. A harmony he can't evade. Her voice without a sound so clear was all he needed just to hear. Some voices bloom in quiet rain and speak through every sweet refrain. You don't need volume to confess when presence lives in soundlessness. Her voice without sound was where his truth was found. She never had to say a thing to make his quiet moments sing. She lived between the lines in time. A fading echo turned to rhyme. Her voice without a sound so deep still plays in him and doesn't sleep. She wrote her truth in melodies between the beats and minor keys. No signature, no bold reveal, just let the rhythm hold what's real. He played it once, then once again. Thought it was just a song back then, but every time the chorus came, his chest would ache, though not in shame. Lines he didn't notice, wove her name without a voice. She never said it to his face, but left it there in perfect place. He didn't see the mark she made till silence took the notes away. Lines he didn't notice said more than words could ever say. She didn't need to write it bold, each lyric wrapped in quiet gold. He danced along, he sang along, not knowing it was their song all along. When music faded, breath stood still, and that's when he began to feel the shape of someone in the sound, a name he lost, now softly found. Lines he didn't notice, wove her name without a voice. She never said it to his face, but left it there in perfect place. He didn't see the mark she made till silence took the notes away. Lines he didn't notice said more than words could ever say. Some stories live between the lines, in rest and rhymes, in unsaid signs. And when the last note fades to gray, the truth remains, it never strays. Lines he didn't notice now echo when the room is still. He hears the way she tried to speak, through every loop, through every peak. She told the truth without a name. He feels it now, but not the same. Lines he didn't notice were always written just for him. He didn't feel the moment bend, no crashing wave, no sudden end, but something shifted soft and slow and left him feeling more than he could show. The way he walked, the way he breathed, the quiet thoughts he used to leave, all started ringing in a tone he'd never called but felt as home. Changed quietly, changed deeply, didn't see it coming but it reached me. A little pause, a softer gaze, a different rhythm to his days. He couldn't name the reason why, but felt it deeper every time. Changed quietly, changed deeply, like someone sang him whole completely. Every note made her appear, a harmony beneath his skin that rewrote where his thoughts had been. He didn't know she lit the flame until the warmth outgrew the frame. And now the silence sounds like grace. In every breath he sees her face. Changed quietly, changed deeply, didn't see it coming but it reached me. A little pause, a softer gaze, a different rhythm to his days. He couldn't name the reason why, but felt it deeper every time. Changed quietly, changed deeply, like someone sang him whole completely. Some songs don't rise, they seep below. They plant their roots where no one goes. And when they bloom, it's not with fire, but quiet truth and small desire. Change quietly, change deeply, no need for noise to move me sweetly. He didn't ask, he didn't try, but still she tuned the space inside. No turning back, no need to see. She's in the beat of who he'll be. Change quietly, change deeply, and that's enough eternally.
just a cup on the windowsill, but somehow everything stands still. The shape, the stain, the way it leans still carries all the in-betweens. She didn't take it when she left, just walked away with all the rest. But in the quiet of that space, he swears he still can see her face. The cup she left behind still holds more than coffee kind. Memories steeped in steam and light, morning soft and eyes so bright. She never said a clear goodbye, but something stayed and he knows why. The cup she left behind is where her silence speaks in kind. He didn't clean it, didn't dare, afraid she'd vanish from the air. It sits untouched, a little warm, like echoes shaped in fragile form. Each time he lifts another mug, he feels a pull, a quiet tug, a melody beneath the grind that lives within what she left behind. The cup she left behind still holds more than coffee kind. Memories steeped in steam and light, morning soft and eyes so bright. She never said a clear goodbye, but something stayed and he knows why. The cup she left behind is where her silence speaks in kind. Not all goodbyes are said aloud. Some stay in steam, a drifting cloud. And in that cup he didn't move. She's still the rhythm he can't remove. The cup she left behind still plays her song line by line, a porcelain of what they shared, a silent proof of how she cared. He never asked for her to stay, but still she lingers day by day. The cup she left behind is how she whispers through the time.
He didn't say a single word, just stared at light, the window blurred. But in that hush a feeling stayed, like someone heard what he didn't say. She wasn't there, not in the room, but in the space between the two. He felt a pause, not empty air, as if her heart was waiting there. Felt like she was listening, though he never made a sound. She caught the breath between his doubts and held it softly without bounds. He didn't speak, he didn't move, but still her silence seemed to soothe. Felt like she was listening to what he didn't need to prove. The song played low, the lights were dim, yet something bright still circled him. Not a voice or touch or gaze or glance, but presence dressed in circumstance. He couldn't name what made him stay, but felt less lost with each replay. Oh. No answers came, no question posed, just quiet where her spirit rose. Felt like she was listening, though he never made a sound. She caught the breath between his doubts and held it softly without bounds. He didn't speak, he didn't move, but still her silence seemed to soothe. Felt like she was listening to what he didn't need to prove. Some people hear what's never told. They read the air, they touch the soul. She didn't ask, she didn't press, just made him feel a little less. Felt like she was listening, not to words but everything. The way he blinked, the way he sighed, she heard it all and stayed inside. No need for lines, no perfect script, just presence gently on his lips. Felt like she was listening, and that alone began the shift. He didn't chase the melody, just let it flow so naturally. But every chord and every space carried a warmth he couldn't place. A line he'd heard 1,000 times now felt like more than simple rhymes. It wasn't loud and wasn't new, but something shifted in the view. And then he knew the voice behind the quiet tune was always there, between the lines, like sunlight breaking through the blinds. She'd never said, but always stayed in every note her hands had made. And then he knew the song was hers, it always grew. He saw her now in softer frame, in whispered lines and silent rain. The beats he'd brushed aside before now held her footprints on the floor. He didn't know she'd written this until he fed the fire. and slow and true.